I cannot be seen here because of my previous lifestyle. My brother as well, we're known for crime and violence in this area. Even though I've not been here for so long, in almost 18 years, I have people, if they run into me and I run into them, it can be a very bloody situation. I really didn't get a fair shot at growing up as a kid. My father was there, but I think at age 10 he disappeared, and so you have older men who are constantly recruiting younger men, and I fell into that. I tried crack cocaine for the first time at age 19, and that was it. Everything went downhill from there. In order to support my addiction, I stole, I lied, I robbed, I conned. Had the opportunity presented itself for me to hurt someone for the drug because I was so dependent on it now, I probably would have done it. Yeah, that's barricaded off. You can't go there. There's a reason why that is barricaded. The men are fighting. I've watched gunshots blazing up on this thing. All right? All of it. Flare up kind of quiet down or what? Or it's still hot? The flare up can't flare up anytime. Yeah, anytime. To our left here, we have the cemetery. I have in that cemetery over 100 people I grew up with. I know for a fact my addiction was like that roller coaster ride to hell. Whether it's drugs, sex, marijuana, I would medicate not to deal with the reality of my life. You see the rundown building across here, that's where I was smoking crack, getting high, and just crying out for help. At age 22, my son came into the picture, and that was a defining moment for me. I had thoughts like, it's unfair to have your son, go to school and have children mock him because his dad is a crackhead in the streets, eating from the garbage can. It was time to purchase baby clothing for my son. I used the money on myself, very selfish. I blew it, I smoked crack, and I realized something had to change. I walked onto this property knowing I needed a new life. Brother Anthony, who led me to the Lord, he said to me on day one, Jesus changed my life, and he can change your life as well.
Realized right away that, this guy was ready for change. So before I did anything else, I said, do you know that I cannot change you, but I know someone can change you? And the one that can change you is Jesus Christ.
And I said, you know what? If Jesus can change your life, I want what you have. He said to me, you're not just born again, you're a brother and a son, and I love you. And those words brought tears to my eyes.
I came into this program over 22 years ago, and I was a crack addict, having no hope, not thinking that there was a future in life for me. Then today I'm the executive director. It happens in Teen Challenge. I served as a police officer on a very special squad. Our job was to take out anybody that is seemingly a criminal. So I have been involved in several fatal shootings. Helped to, cause my 6 years of drug use because there was a lot of guilt. I decided that I had my fill with crack. My plan was to commit suicide because I could not handle the pain of addiction. I knew jumping in this water, which is about 50 feet, that would be it. And as I got closer to the ocean, I heard a voice said, no, no, no. 22 and a half years since I walked over this property, man. And it's because of Jesus, my friend here, and this program, Teen Challenge. Man, I have goosebumps. You see them? They're here, man. They're here. Yes.
I had been reading the story of the Good Samaritan. When he passed by that person that was on the ground who was injured, he offered help. He took him to an inn. So we were in Sam Sharp Square, walking around, hanging out, and I go down this one road, and I see this woman just lying in the gutter.
But she was lying in there, people were just passing her by. I'm from New York, right? So being in New York, you see people like that all the time, but I was drawn to her.
That's when I think I heard the words, build the inn.
And as I reflect back, that was the seed that God planted to start Jamaica Teen Challenge.
That was around 95. We actually landed in Jamaica in 97 in Kingston.
I serve as the executive director here at Teen Challenge Jamaica. Our main goal is to evangelize and disciple men and women who have somewhat lost their way, mainly because of drug addiction. And each person has a responsibility on the farm. We have chickens, we have pigs, we have greenhouses, we do outdoor crops, and every individual student has a role to play on this property. When you have a student knowing that his responsibility is to feed those chickens, he owns that. We have about 2,400 plants in all 3 houses. That's 400 over there. There's 300 in there. I have a nursery for Scotch bonnet peppers.
The other thing that really struck me was the quality of the disciples that were produced and how they in turn produced disciples themselves. I think that is one of the big achievements of the program.
You get 3 hots, you get a cot, you get community, man, and you get freedom.
That's what I need.
That's what you need, right?
And it's there. Pray that you would rescue him right now. In Jesus' name, God, I pray that you will give him the strength he needs to leave here.
And I tell everybody this, and I really mean it. If it was just for St. Clair or just Anthony, all the work and all the effort and all the resources we've put in it would have been worth it. And we know there's just so much more than that.
And you can see this amazing tapestry of God's handiwork, the grand weaver at work. So you have Anthony, who struggled with crack addiction. Sterling comes in and struggles with crack addiction. And Anthony leads Sterling to Christ. And then Sterling moves on. He migrates to the United States, goes to Bible school, and is currently working in a teen challenge in Florida. I get a phone call from Sterling not too long ago, and he's got a young man that he wants to refer to us by the name of Jesus Hickman.
So I teach GSNL, Group Studies for New Life. This is the classroom I actually teach in. So like most of these young men here, I was lost. I had no direction of where I was going in life. And I'm so grateful for St. Clair and being that consistent role model in my life and just showing me what a man of color and of God can do.
And so when you step back and you look at this amazing tapestry of relationships, right? And it's a beautiful picture of God's redemption and how he knits people together.
And you said that in a devotion right here, man.
Yeah.
And that stick, man, addiction is death and installment plan. It seems like you came right over to me.
Yes.
And I heard you, man.
Yeah.
You just cannot make this thing up, because here she is. I was 13. 6 years afterwards, I would find myself living in the streets on my way to the gutter. Thank God, even though it was awful, redemption was in that gutter, and I am one of the fruit that came from that lady's life.